So hello everyone, welcome back to another Fallout 76 video. In this one I want to go over something very serious, which are the most game-breaking cheats live right now in Fallout 76. So let's begin. Hey everyone, first of all, happy Easter, and this video is going to be a bit unpleasant, but it is what's happening, it's reality, and these things are well alive in game, and that's why I'm making a video about it right before the Wastelanders goes live. Now, in the past 2 weeks or so, I have been researching about glitches, exploits, cheats and hacks that are in Fallout 76 right now, and I came up with a list. I ended up selecting only 8 of them, which in my opinion are the most game-breaking that I could find so far, and I'm going to talk about them one by one. And yeah, I wish I didn't have to do this, but it is how it is. Also, just because the gaming media hasn't really been covering the scandals in Fallout 76 anymore, as it used to happen last year, it doesn't mean that problems, issues, whatever you want to call them, don't exist, because they are there, they exist. Some of them are there for months, and hopefully with the Wastelanders DLC something will change. For instance, we know that Steam Guard is coming, and some things may change, but others probably not so much. Moreover, keep in mind that these points were all researched right before the Wastelanders went live, so if something in this list gets fixed, then thumbs up to Bethesda by doing so, that would be fantastic. And something else is that, as you can imagine, there are many other issues live right now, but for the sake of this video, I only selected 8, so the video is not 30 minutes or, you know, up to 1 hour. There's really a lot of things, and it's a shame. Actually, I found YouTube channels that basically only follow or cover Fallout 76 exploits, glitches, and, you know, cheats. It's like, okay, but they exist and it's a shame. Also, one of my main goals with this video is to raise awareness about this issue, because if we all ignore the problems, then I don't think Bethesda is going to do anything about it. I mean, I'm sure these problems are in their list, somewhere in the list, but surely not at the very top. Therefore, if we ignore them, if we don't discuss, don't talk about it in any way possible, then I'm very sure they will allocate their resources into something else. Like now, they have been fully developing the Wastelanders DLC, and most of these problems are basically, you know, at the bottom of the list. They have been forgotten, and hacks like the nuclear winter ones are there since the very release of the game mode, and nothing much has been done to you know, stop these cheaters from coming, from making new accounts and returning if they get banned, and so on. Anyway, without any further delay, let's start with the first point, which is something most of you are familiar with. It's there since the beginning of time for the game, and it's still live, running, and nobody knows when it's going to end. Let's begin. Weapon duplication and weapon creation hacks. Oh yes, these issues are so old that I would risk to say they are alive since the very first weeks after the release day. There has been dozens of different duplication methods over time, and most of them eventually got patched by Bethesda. However, people always seem to find a new way to duplicate stuff. Normally, they go for the rarest and most valuable items, like legacy weapons and rare plants, which makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of demand and not so much offer, so with duplication cheats, people can make a lot of money in-game and outside the game too. Now, this sounds bad enough already, especially when thousands of players can access items that no longer spawn in-game and are supposed to be really rare, which they are not anymore. Some cheaters can also get inside the dev's room and bring unreleased items to the common player, such as laser muskets. I have seen plenty of them around. But things get worse when certain hackers access and even create their own Frankenstein weapons. They can basically build anything they want, such as choosing their favorite legendary effects and adding the weapon parts they want to have. That's how you can sometimes find weird weapons that are not supposed to exist, but they do, because they are hacker-made, such as fusions between energy weapons and heavy weapons, like a minigun with a laser barrel or a cryolator body with a minigun barrel. Heck, they can even add explosive damage to melee weapons or add weapon parts that shouldn't fit together. I recently had a player asking me if his weapon was legit or not. He claimed to have purchased it from another player for 25k caps, and it was this one. As you can see, it's a broadsider body with a minigun barrel with perfect legendary effects. Instant giveaway, huh? Moreover, I have seen a few players using very strange weapons lately, especially during queen fights, which means these hacked weapons are not as rare anymore. They're spreading fast and there is no stop to it. Actually, if you are not a veteran, how are you supposed to know if a certain weapon is legit or hacked? Sometimes it's not so easy to tell, and the worst part is that Bethesda sometimes bans people with such Frankenstein weapons in their inventories. Therefore, legit players could be banned for buying such hacked weapons without even knowing they are hacker-made. It's a scary world, and that's why I rarely buy gear from people these days. It just doesn't feel safe anymore in so many ways. We can say the same thing about armor, outfits, and all sorts of cosmetics. Cheaters can duplicate basically any item they grab their hands on. But that's only one part of the issue. Besides duping the best armor pieces in game, such as Unyielding and Vanguard sets, cheaters often duplicate rare outfits too, such as Asylum-colored uniforms and of course the famous Fasnacht masks. That basically became ordinary in the past year after extensive duplication. We also have cheaters who know how to trade untradeable outfits from the Atomic Shop and even the untradeable armor sets from Vault 94, such as the Strangler Heart Power Armor set, Torn and Solar Armor sets. Some cheaters even sell them for hundreds of dollars and make a lot of profit like that. Anyway, things get worse when hackers get involved. It's possible to create cosmetics with legendary effects, which means it stacks on top of your normal armor. Some hackers have created 4 and 5 stars gear pieces in the past, such as backpacks and wedding rings with lots of legendary effects. Again, something that shouldn't exist in game, but for some people it does, or it used to. They can even create gear pieces that are in the game files but not released yet, such as the cage outfit, and add legendary effects on top of it. As you can see, it's way more than just duplicating gear that most people want. Nuclear Winter cheaters and hackers. Now, where do I start? Well, in the past Triple Experience event, I tried Nuclear Winter after many months, and in my 4th match, I was killed by this beautiful hacker who was gliding under the map with aimbot and infinite ammo, who of course killed half of the players in my match, and that's pretty much the new normal in Nuclear Winter, sadly, if you play on PC at least. This is the new reality that you will encounter if you play often on PC. There are cheaters everywhere and most of them use multi-hacks. No, it's never just one. It's like a complete pack where they are often invincible and can kill almost everyone without you ever spotting them. Some fly, others can kill you from off the map away. There's even this hack that allows you to shoot through any object, and one that allows you to see all the loot boxes from afar and what's inside as well. It's just insane. And again, a proper anti-cheat system would easily solve this, because in Nuclear Winter, cheaters are using third-party programs or modified files, therefore detecting those shouldn't be too difficult. I just hope the Steam release will make things better for the Battle Royale mode. We will find out soon enough. Another glitch that works more like a hack is known as the God mode or invisible exploit, where players do a series of actions in-game to trigger an exploit, which turns them invisible. Literally, you can't die. Now, many griefers know about this and they use it to kill any player who attempts to defend themselves. Of course, they know beforehand there is no way for them to die, therefore they keep engaging in PvP and coming out victorious no matter what happens. I have experienced this God mode glitch in the past, where a griefer wouldn't die even though his HP bar showed depleted to me during several fights. No matter how much damage I did, he never died. Which is exactly what happens during God mode, as shown by testing footage from other players. Besides taking no damage, you also get infinite action points, and if you have Unwielding, you can get over 100 stats in every attribute, except Endurance. Now tell me how unfair this glitch is for everybody else. Not just in terms of PvP, also in PvE. No wonder queens are going down in 1 second during Scorched Earth, and some people can easily tank the imposter Sheep Squatch at the encrypted event. With the God mode glitch, you can't die and you are boosted to oblivion. The sad part is that this glitch is not new at all, it has been around for some months now. Maybe the Wastelanders will bring some changes for God mode exploiters. Did you know hackers can kill any enemy they want with just 1 click? That's correct. They can also avoid being hit. With these hacks, they can roam around like thin air or like gods. No enemy can touch them, yet they can instantly kill any enemy they want. I believe this hack is also part of a third-party program, modified files in other words. So an anti-cheat system would also be very helpful in preventing people from using this sort of annoyance. I've seen so many queens going down in 1 second as soon as it lands. Cheaters love to use this hack to grief people, since nobody gets loot or even event rewards when the queen dies that fast. All I can say is, one can hope for a fix, right? One day, just maybe though. Imagine you could spawn your own legendary bosses. No more visiting locations, no more server jumping, no more fast traveling costs, or hoping the RNG gods have been kind to you. Some cheaters can do this and much more. I found at least 2 different ways on how to spawn unlimited legendaries in the past few weeks. One of them is more complicated than the other, but they are both fairly easy exploits, and that can be extremely unfair for everybody else who plays the legit way. It's also the same principle of infinite experience and caps farming if you choose a location like West Tech with a fixed super mutant spawn. This one is clearly not about hacks, but it breaks the game almost just as much. It's pure cheating and it shouldn't be live this long. Hopefully it will be patched sooner rather than later. Back to the land of the hacks, some people are able to spawn about any item they desire. There is plenty of footage of unknown hackers spawning all sorts of rare items from the sky, including Fasnacht masks, forest camo jumpsuits, and ultra-sight plants. But as you can imagine, that's really not everything they can spawn. In fact, the data miner Shizato has shared with me that it's possible to spawn items that are not supposed to exist, like nuke and nukes or a rabbit's foot. This spawn ability is extensive and it goes from items to camp entries. For example, mannequins, it's in the game files and it exists in-game as part of random encounters or certain locations. And some hackers have them spawn and dressed at their camps, even though it was never released as a camp item. Some even have mounted animal heads that have not yet been released. These are just a few examples of what hackers can summon. I would say it's pretty much anything they want. Alright, so the last point in my list is something not as game-breaking as all the other points I have mentioned so far, for most players at least. Still, it's a very unfair one in my opinion. I am talking about the unlimited camp budget glitch, which can be activated through at least 2 different ways. With this exploit, you can build as much as you want, there is no limit at all, and that's how some people build their base complex. Have you ever wondered how a certain player has a massive camp with lots of display cases featuring dozens and dozens of weapons, with stacks of decor items, with all the mounted heads and so many other things? Well, this is how they do it. They cheat by triggering this exploit to build the camp of their dreams with no budget limitations. How convenient, huh? Figures they are cheating, and once Bethesda fixes this glitch, they will probably get in trouble. It's a fact that the exploit and hack list continues, and the 8 points that they've just covered here are only the tip of the iceberg. But in my view, these are really the most concerning and harmful ones, which should get fixed as soon as possible because they directly interfere with the community and they can harm players in so many different ways. Also, they can disrupt the economy of the game. In some aspects, the economy is already kinda down in the bottom, if you know what I mean. And a great example of that is the Fashna masks. They got duplicated so much that right now, at this current point, they're like ordinary. Actually, I refuse to buy them. I've seen them in several player vending machines for cheap, like 2K caps, and I just didn't buy it because I know they are most likely duplicated items. They can easily become a reason or a source of negativity that can lead people to take a break or to simply quit the game, never come back at all. Because that's common to happen. I mean, we are in a very competitive world. There are so many games you can play, me included. I've played games in the past where I found cheaters and hackers and I never came back to them. So when people are playing 4 games, for example, at once, and one of them is Fallout 76 and they encounter hackers, they probably won't come back at all since they have other games where they feel safer or they think or they know the system works better. That's just a few examples. Now, I know we have private servers and most issues can be avoided by playing solo or, well, by not playing with other players. But still, this is an online game and it really doesn't mean the problems are not there if you don't see them, because that's not the case. Sadly, I hardly see anyone discussing this type of issue anymore. Even over Reddit or the forums, I used to see people discussing this quite often, and nowadays it's like silence, blank, nothing really happens regarding this. Now, if we all turn a blind eye to this situation as a community, then you can expect much from the developers' part. I mean, if it's not an issue for us, then why should it be for them? It's a lot of work and resources to get a proper anti-cheat engine working to start with, and they have to keep making new content to keep the player base interested. So pressure is necessary to get things moving and eventually done. I know Steam Guard is coming and that's probably going to do something, but it's really not a solution for all the hacking and cheating we have right now. Because if you think about it, a lot of the glitches and exploits are part of the game. They're like there. People are not editing any files or using any third-party software to get things done in not so legal ways in Fallout 76. They're just, tweaking the game, going around the rules and exploiting. And I don't think there's a proper anti-cheat system that can fight that. So it's quite complicated. Anyhow, my goal with this video was not to be negative in any way possible. I just hope you guys understand what's at stake here. And sometimes you need to speak the truth. You need to come forward and talk about things even if it's unpleasant for certain parties. If we all ignore what's going on, then you can be sure nothing will ever change about this matter. I can guarantee you that. Anyhow, hacking and cheating is a very strong part of Fallout 76 until the present day. And as you saw, there's shocking, game-breaking problems that really need to be addressed. and they are live just before the Wastelanders DLC gets released. Again, I hope some of these issues will get fixed with the DLC, but I don't have a lot of expectations anymore for obvious reasons. I mean, we have been waiting for so many things. There's like a queue list of features we are waiting for months and months, some even a year by now. And this part is something that most people know it needs to be fixed, something has to be done, but you know, time goes by and nothing really happens. So I would like to see a change, but I don't think it will happen in the end. I just hope, you know, hope. Anyway, I think it's really time to wrap things up here. I hope one day we will get to see less cheating and hacking problems in 76. Until that day comes, I will try my best to bring the truth right to you. My name is Marta Branco. Thank you so much for watching, and leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Also, there are plenty of ways to support my content even further if that's what you would like to do. The links are right below the video as usual. Also, I am hosting an Easter event right now in my Discord server, so feel free to join and check the rules, participate and so on. It's a screenshot event. There's prizes for everyone, for PC and for console players as well. The link for my Discord is also below the video. That's going to be everything for now. Thank you again for watching and for all your support. I will see you all very soon in the next video. Until then, take care, adeus, bye bye!